And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Today's Alaska breakup map, we've got two flood watches out now. Flood watch here along the, flood watch for possible flooding along the Tanana River, 6 miles downstream of Manly Hot Springs, and that's out through tonight into tomorrow. And then the flood watch continues here. Copper River Basin actually in the greater Glen Allen area for possible flooding due to snow melt there, especially around Moose and Trooper Creeks. And that's out until at least into May 6th. And satellite imagery showing a system here spreading rain and some wind into Kodiak Island, moisture across Bristol Bay. Some of that moisture is slipping on up into the southern Cook Inlet area and also up into western Prince William Sound. A little bit of light rain from Whittier over toward Portage today, and clouds over the remainder of south central Alaska and up into the Susitna Valley, and to a lesser extent in the Matanuska Valley, Copper River Basin, some clearing there in the eastern areas. Pretty dry day across the southeast coast, or it was a dry day across the southeast coast with a few sun breaks. And this front right through here, bringing areas of snow as it passed over Fairbanks earlier today. That ended this afternoon, spreading in toward the border over there, toward Eagle, and with colder air behind it, chillier air behind it. Also clearing out, some sun breaking out over the central interior today behind that feature. More clouds up along the Arctic coast there with some light snow around Kaktovik over to about Dead Horse or so. And low pressure here, southeast Bering Sea producing showers, mostly cloudy conditions. And winds not too bad with this system. Ahead of the front, winds gusts up to 45 miles an hour at Cold Bay earlier. A stronger system pushing rain and wind into the far western Aleutians there. And you can see that progressing eastward here on the loop again in toward Shimia. On the chart, rain coming into the western Aleutians with that feature and some pretty good winds, gale force winds ahead of the front there. Much lighter winds, this low filling and weakening. And just some lot of clouds, shower activity from the Pribilofs down to the Aleutians here with the main rain band over Bristol Bay and the Alaska Peninsula, but not all that heavy into Kodiak Island. Perryville Airport had about 0.15 of an inch of precipitation today. Scattered showers over the southwest interior and along the western Alaska range, and some light precipitation getting up to the southern Kenai Peninsula. Again, Cook Inlet, this cold front moving eastward, taking most of the snow now over toward the border and into Canada, clearing right on its heels. Another weak trough producing some areas of light snow on the eastern Arctic coast. High pressure made for a dry and at least some sun breaks here across the Panhandle today. There with light wind conditions that extended up into Yakutat and picking up the clouds over toward Cordova into Prince William Sound. For tonight, this front all the way into Canada, followed by high pressure, variably cloudy skies, gusty northeast winds, maybe up to 20-25 miles an hour here over the northern interior valley areas, passes of the Brooks Range, but light for the North Slope and the Arctic coast. Periods of rain continue, southern, eastern Kenai Peninsula, western Prince William Sound, southern Cook Inlet, periods of rain, fog, and drizzle for Kodiak Island. And light rain into Bristol Bay, becoming showery out toward the Kuskokwim Delta coast, Cape Newenham, and just scattered showers over the northern Bering Sea. This next system front already weakening as it pushes in toward Adak and Atka. So winds will be under gale force there tonight with the main stronger winds back up on the north side of the low center, way out over the western Bering Sea. And something of a break here for the eastern Aleutians and Alaska Peninsula, mostly dry. Very light winds there with practically no gradient at all. And then for tomorrow, this front continues to weaken as it slides eastward with the main low center hanging back to the west there. And look for a chance of rain to maybe Nikolsky late in the afternoon, otherwise periods of rain for Adak and Atka. A break here with some clearing over the Alaska Peninsula, light wind conditions. Isolated showers, northern Bering Sea, and scattered showers for the Kuskokwim Delta and along the Kuskokwim Mountains. Otherwise, the Kuskokwim Valley basically dry, especially to the north. Toledo, McGrath, Nikolai, partly sunny. Mostly sunny up here over the northern interior valleys. Variably cloudy, dry conditions, light winds, upper Tanana Valley, down into the Copper River Basin. actually all the way down along the southeast coast under good high pressure. And the rain area pretty much stuck in place there, Kodiak Island, up into southern Cook Inlet, southern Kenai Peninsula, up into western Prince William Sound. And a weak trough may bring a few skiffs of snow to the eastern Arctic coast, but nothing very significant. And then for Friday, that area kind of drops southeastward, brings maybe some light snow in across the upper Yukon Valley there, mainly the Porcupine River location. And again, possible flurries, eastern Arctic coast with a weaker trough behind that one. Mostly sunny, northwest part of the state, Seward Peninsula there, Noatak Valley. And this front now spreading more moisture up into the, as this system, let me explain, this system drops off to the southeast. The next one here moves northeastward at a pretty good clip. You can see it makes a pretty good jog by Friday afternoon right into Bristol Bay. And the warm front spreading a better chance of rain, thicker clouds in over south central Alaska, especially along the western Alaska range there. Prince William Sound, periods of rain. Another wet day for Kodiak Island, Bristol Bay, the Alaska Peninsula, and the Kuskokwim Delta. Chances of rain increase for the Yukon Delta. Large low pressure over the southern Bering Sea keeps it cloudy and unsettled and damp out over that area, with breezy west winds 15 to 30 miles an hour for Adak and Atka, lighter for the Fox Islands. Sunny skies, light winds, highs in the 60s for the southeast coast. And for the lows tonight down that way, mostly in the 30s, the lower 40s, otherwise cold up here over the north slope in the Brooks Range. That's where the coldest location will be. Actually, the Brooks Range up to the Arctic coast, call it 0 below to 10 above. In the teens for the northern valleys here, central interior, mostly in the 20s, southern Alaska in the 30s. Highs for tomorrow, 50s to maybe lower 60s over toward Northway and Tok, but Tanana Valley for the most part in the 50s tomorrow, warmer than today, and 15 to 25 or so, or 15 to 20 for the North Slope Arctic coast into the Brooks Range. 50s south central Alaska, 50s lower 60s for the southeast coast, and then the 40s out here over the western areas. And for the lows again, 30s lower 40s for the southeast coast for Friday morning, and 5 below to 10 above again for the Brooks Range out to the Arctic coast, with 20s and 30s now, mid-30s here for the central interior. It looks like Delta Junction there, 40 degrees for the overnight low. In the 30s to lower 40s across southern Alaska, mostly in the 30s though for the Aleutians and the Alaska Peninsula, and the southeast coast about the same. And then highs in the 60s with some pretty good sunshine there for the southeast coast. And temperatures recovering here over the eastern interior, upper 50s to lower, maybe mid 60s there, staying in the 50s, Copper River Basin, south central Alaska, mid 40s with rain, Kodiak Island, in the 40s to lower 50s for Bristol Bay, and still on the chilly side for the North Slope and the Arctic coast.